Alright, this is Andrew Jolly with Jota Home Inspections. We're here today at 573 G Street in Salt Lake City doing a sewer scope. We've got the camera pushed out as far as we can get it. We're not able to go any further. I accessed it through the roof today, through the vent on the roof, and there was a 90-degree bend that it had to go through, and sometimes when I go through a sharp bend like that right off the bat, it makes it hard to actually push the line or the camera all the way out to the city connection. Ideally you have a clean out in the basement. I found where your stack is in the basement, but either a clean out was never installed or they covered it up with a wall. But I'll point that out to you during the walkthrough. This is a cast iron sewer line. One of the issues with cast iron is that you get rust that builds up inside of it and it gets kind of rough, and that can allow solids to catch on those ridges and can allow for a backup. It's a decent looking cast iron line, but it's not the ideal type of pipe to have. With this age of a house, a lot of people at this point are putting liners in. Not necessarily something you would just do proactively because they're pretty costly, but something that might be an option down the road if you have good grade and don't have some other issues. I ran a lot of water as I pushed the camera out, and so one thing I'm looking at now is to see if you have any standing water that would indicate that improper grade. You'll notice that the footage, the counter on the screen has been at 0. I reset the camera when I had gone inside to turn the water off, and so that's why that's not actually counting, but I had pushed out about 70 feet and then another 20 feet or so, so we started, at about 90. Granted, that's not 90 feet out to the street. I went down the stack 26 feet before I hit the ground. So it's looking like a decent line. No standing water, no big roots. It's cast, which is not ideal. That's something that could lead to a backup because it can catch solids. You want to be careful not to use you don't want to flush wet wipes, even if it says they're safe to flush. You don't want to do that. You don't want to flush feminine products down the line. I would recommend opening up that wall to see if there's a clean out and either having one cut in, hopefully there's one there already, and then having the line re-cambered. That way you can avoid that first bend and go all the way out. Also, if you ever have to have this cleaned, it's going to be a lot easier to clean it if you have a proper clean out down in the basement instead of having to come up here on the roof. A lot of guys are not going to be willing to come up here on the second story. So I'm going to end this recording now.